Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm seeing that one or two people joining us and coming live. I'm hoping that there will be a lot more people will be joining in as time goes by. So I think one of the things that I really would like to take a moment is that to give you like a quick overview and understanding about what this session is all about. So we have a very eminent and very kind of industry veterans in the automation joining us today. I think you already are seeing those faces and names and what they do on the screen. So I think today we are going to have Dilini from John Keells IT, Harsha from John Keells IT, Jehan from Informate. We have Anushman as well as Ankit from UiPath also joining us. I'm not going to do the pleasantries in terms of detail, descriptions and all that. I'm sure all of you have Google or LinkedIn to connect with them and take the conversation in this time and age. But first of all, I would like to invite Dilini to start the session with a quick introduction of what this particular topic is all about and how John Keells IT and with your years of experience of seeing it. Let me just quickly have Dilini start the presentation, and I think we can take the session, after that immediately. Dilini, I'm just handing over to you. Give me a fraction of a second until it goes live. I think we are ready to go. Dilini, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Rohan. Shall we move to the slides?
Yes, we have the slides live now.
Rohan, we can't see the slides.
Harsha, what I have is your slides on the screen shared.
Okay.
Maybe you may want to just take it off. Now you just took it off. Maybe you just want to present it back again. So I'm seeing a couple of people joining us. Thank you so much for joining. I know it is a Tuesday. I thought Tuesday would be a good day to talk about technology. Now I'm seeing Harsha, your presentation is now live, and we are on the starting page. Identify, automate, manage RPA journey for business performance enhancement. Go ahead.
So thank you, Rohan. Welcome to the webinar. Nice to have you here. And also, in a brief moment, I would like to give an introduction to robotic process automation and what is RPA expertise, then what processes can be automated, then in short, like what is our engagement with clients, how do we take about it, and overview to use cases, and also we have a demo lined up for you. So for me to start and set the ground, I would like to say, what is robotic process automation? That is when we deploy robots to emulate the actions of human beings interacting with digital systems to execute business processes. Also, RPA robots can extract data, manipulate applications, interpret and trigger responses, communicate with other systems in order to perform vast variety of repetitive tasks. So the sustainable factor of RPA software robots is that they never sleep and they make zero mistakes. So let me take you to our partner ecosystem. We are a strategic partner of Microsoft, SAP, and UiPath, and also Abby is part of the offerings within UiPath itself. So to talk a little bit about our journey in automation, we started in 2017 where we looked at all the commercially available tools for automation, and we did POCs and we did R&D, and after doing all that we decided on UiPath. And the first client to onboard was Informate, our sister company, whom Jehan is the CEO of. And then we also was involved in so many other industry verticals. And as you can see, we have grown into airline industry, the customs, insurance, travel, telecom, banking, BPO, manufacturing, retail, likewise, and so on. So you may ask us, what are the salient features? Why did we select UiPath? And in terms of Forrester, last quarter, they published that UiPath is a leader for automation, and because of the best platform with many integrated components, and because of the rapid expansions in the platform with up-to-date technology, flexible hosting options, comprehensive training and certification. And for John Keells IT, when we started, as I said, there was no other company that was doing automation in Sri Lanka. So for us, if we had to, scale the people, we have to train the people. In order to do that, with the facilities available with UiPath, with the resource center, we managed to train them fast and also certify them. And after doing that, we were able also to do implementations with a fast turnaround time. So those were the reasons why John Keells IT picked on UiPath. So our RP expertise, if you look at our expertise within the in-house, we have certified and experienced solutions team comprising of solutions architects, infrastructure engineers, developers, business analysts, and trainers. And our experience is in consultation, process assessment, implementation, maintenance, and managing RBA projects. So in order for me to give you some highlights on the work that we have done, we have automated sales order processing. We have done account creation, audit process automation, payment run, then client creations, payroll processes, data migrations, bank reconciliation, customer refund processes, invoice processing. And also during COVID time, I would like to emphasize, we also performed debt moratorium. And besides that, for aviation client, they had to, because of the lockdown and travel restrictions, we have to cancel so many bookings, and thousands of bookings were canceled and vouchers were generated for them. So that was achieved in short space of time. So you may ask me, what are the processes that we can automate? So in order to answer that question, it would be the stable processes and systems, and which has a definite workflow, high volumes, repetitive tasks, where it has expensive labor, then business critical, less exceptions are the ones which will be candidate for automation. And the benefits of automation are increase in speed and productivity, cost savings, better accuracy, improved compliance, and scalability. In terms of improved compliance, why I say that is because bots don't make mistakes. Because of that, 100% compliant. Scalability in the sense when you are increasing in your productivity, when you have a business growth, and if you want to achieve a high productivity, what you just can do is, if your bot infrastructure is not enough, just it's a matter of adding a bot into your system. So RPA works with diverse automation environments. Integrating to Oracle databases, SQL servers, financials, web apps, Microsoft Azure Cognitive Services, Abby OCR, PDFs, Microsoft Office, you can name anything. So I believe, we have experience that you can automate to anything and integrate to anything. So the questions that people ask is, how would you get about with an engagement of RPA with a client? Okay, in order for me to just, there are two models of where clients ask us, can you come and look at our processes? Can you, let us what are the processes that can be automated? Likewise, that is one conversation we have with our clients. The next conversation we have with our clients is, okay, can you define an RPA strategy for our company? So these are two different approaches, but eventually when we are implementing, it would be to identify the processes, where we may also use design thinking workshops, and then we will get into solution designing, building RPA solutions, then we will test the solution, and they will also go live. Once they go live, on post go live, we have hypercare period where we will assist in defect resolutions, and also like fine tuning the bots. So hosting options, you will ask, where can I host my bots? How does it all work? There are several hosting options. You can host it on premise, you can host it on Microsoft Azure, and also you can host it on Stack. So these are the options that are available. Move on. So let me get into few use cases, so that you will understand robotic process automation better. In order to, we have done automating of credit flow processes, credit flow, and what we have done is like we have employed Abby to extract the data from scanned documents and update that data in the database. And the process has been, after that, the bot will fetch the data and update the core systems, and it will get the status from CRIB, and then it will enter the generated client and security codes to validate and authorize. And after that, it will create an account in the loan system and generate the verifications. After the verifications, it will send to the authorized people for verifications depending on the credit limits, and then it will approve the loan and send based on the system data and the scorecard, the approvals will be made. So that is one of the processes that I can highlight on how automation works along with Abby. Next, let's move on into CRIB report verification, where we have identified what are the CRIB requests, and then we have logged into the system, and then we have searched for the customer and the corporate information. Then we have also taken the status of the client or the corporate that we are looking at. They downloaded the file and saved it in the client's name in a folder, and then also gone back and updated a database in a table saying that, okay, this customer information is in this particular folder. So this has helped us to eliminate 2 FT's work, which we have repurposed them into other value-adding tasks, and 25/7 CRIB requests from all branches have been taken place. So, during the day how difficult it is to access the system. So now when it works off-peak hours, the process is much faster. So it will eliminate data entry errors, and generally it used to handle 600 files per day. And now it processes within 3 minutes. So that without any human intervention and 0 errors. Let's move on to the next use case. So this is also like a voucher generation for a company where we had to, look at the mails within a shared folder and then use OCR, which will recognize the seal, which will recognize the content in the voucher, and then we will update external systems and produce exception reports and audit reports. So what we tried to gain was the seal recognition was 100% probability and 100% accuracy in the data that we stored, and overall finance process can be carried out seamlessly. And we saw increased efficiency in all this. So this is one of the common use cases that you will see. It's the bank reconciliation process, where you will log into the bank's portal and get the download the files, and after that you will also download from your ERP systems the internal report, and you will verify the two and find out whether there are any non-matching transactions, which you will also help to update in the system, and you will create a balance sheet and tally the instructions, and you will send notifications to the stakeholders. So this again was this entire process optimization time was 14.5 hours they used to take, and the bot did it in 1.5 hours without any manual interventions, and handling 90 payments per day. So this is one of the successful use cases. Let's move on. Okay, here we would like to emphasize on, if you are looking at what are the, just to get an understanding, okay, what are the processes that I can automate, right? These are common use cases which UiPath has laid down called the heat maps. And here you will see what are the processes, and within those, what are the highly automatable processes, what are the medium ones, which is in light green, dark green are in dark blue is the highly automated ones, the light blue is the medium, and the gray are the low ones. So you will see, if I take the first one, customer setup and contract, you will see that the highly automatable use cases are setting up the customer in the system, managing the customer data, create and manage the reports. If I take the invoice customer process, which is like the fifth one in the boxes, right? That would, like, you will see that generating invoices, managing bills, then posting receivables to general ledger, developing and managing reports. All these are common use cases that you can see. So just like that in a finance and accounting order to cash function, these are the things that can be automated. Likewise, UiPath has also laid down other heat maps for other functions. If you go down in the presentation, you will see the next one. You will see procure to pay. In supply chain, what can be automated in in-house legal department, what can be automated in the same manner. Then you will see product and service development to customer support, what can be automated in that. Next one is HR and finance, HR, where what can be automated. Then going forward, we will also see in co-insurance, what is that you can automate. So this is a good guideline if you're looking at, okay, how do I start? So this is a start where you can, look at. So moving on, now the global RPA adaptation in the RPA market is to reach 2.9 billion by 2021, which is next year. And 4 million robots are to be utilized. That's why Forrester claims. So once again, like if you're looking at what are the industry groups doing, what is the global trend? Most of the companies are looking at how can they automate mundane tasks. Mundane tasks in the sense the finance, the IT, the HR, the legal, the compliance, the audits. Those are the ones that people are looking at automating and looking at how they can repurpose their staff for better utilization, where they are having client interfacing and where there is intelligent work that can be taken out of the workforce. So this is something that you and your companies can look at. So thank you very much. I will hand over to Rohan.
Thank you, Delini. Thank you so much for this opening presentation about RPA. I think we have a very rich history, as John Keel's IT, of our journey of automation with UiPath. I think you really encompass us that entire journey and just gave some interesting use cases. So we do have some interesting bunch of people who have joined us. It would be really great if you can kind of send your questions. There's an area where you can just send in your question, chat in. But now I would like to invite Ankit, who is being with UiPath. He's joining us live from India. UiPath. He works for UiPath India, and I would just like to have his to invite him for the presentation. Ankit, would you like to share your presentation?
Sure, Rohan. Thanks for the introduction. Let me quickly share my screen so that the team is able to see the presentation.
Sure, absolutely.
I hope you are audible. I am audible to you?
You are absolutely clear, and I think your background is interesting as well. So we like it at the moment. So if you can just share the presentation. Harsha, would you mind taking a screen off? So we'll give a couple of moments for Ankit's slides to come in. But as I mentioned, please make sure that you send your question our way so that you can take.
So are you able to see my screen now?
Just one second. I think we should be have that running. Ankit, you can go in presentation mode.
Okay, great. So before starting the presentation, I would like to demonstrate a process which has been automated. So I'll be demonstrating invoice processing. I think Dalini also mentioned about invoice processing, how you can automate. Let's see it in action, how the bot works for invoice processing.
Have you ever wondered what robotic process automation, or RPA, can do for you? In short, it provides a competitive advantage by helping you improve both accuracy and speed of operations while radically driving down costs. So how does it work? In this video, we'll show you how UiPath streamlines an invoice process end to end. You are about to see a robot performing the following activities. Monitoring a dedicated folder where invoices are saved in PDF format. Reading invoices from that folder one by one. Extracting key information from the invoices. Opening SAP. Filling in invoice details in SAP. Sending email notifications. Please note that the robot will do some activities in the background, such as most of the invoice-related actions, monitoring a folder or checking its email address. Now let's see it working. Right now, it's monitoring a folder where 3 invoices are stored and collecting all the information needed so it can register them one by one. It then asks the tester to introduce the email address where the posting notification will be sent, and also performs basic checks to see if the SAP is open and runs it on its own if not. Logging into SAP using its credentials, it then starts processing the invoices one by one. We can see it filling in data such as vendor code, invoice date, invoice number, invoice amount, invoice description, and GL account, and ends up by filling the payment term. Following that, it registers the remaining 2 invoices in the assigned company code. An email containing the SAP registration number is sent automatically by the robot after successfully registering each invoice. Checking in the background, the robot verifies whether the VAT on the invoice matches the one in our database, and if so, will post it automatically. Otherwise, it will park it and send a dedicated email to the responsible person highlighting this difference and asking what to do. Post the invoice or to cancel it and send it back to the vendor. All the invoice's details are visible in the email it sends, so let's reply with yes to the message for an invoice with a VAT difference. Finally, it will check its email address in the background, access SAP using the appropriate transaction code, and post the invoice. And that's it. The robot has successfully posted the 3 invoices in SAP.
So you saw how invoice processing can be automated end to end. So invoice processing basically is the part of F&A department which Dalini also explained. And you know, almost every other organization has an F&A department, and you will have a feasibility of around 80% of the processes which can be automated. Similarly, if you talk about processes under F&A, we have procure to pay department and order to report departments, which has around 90% processes feasible for automation. We have HR departments in the organization where automation is feasible for processes right from hire till the person retire, and processes under logistics and supply chain, customer services. So all these processes, you can see they are easily automable and present almost in each and every other organization, right? So 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 that's the beauty of RPA, right? It can be implemented across all the industries, so all the departments, and especially the vertical specific processes. So you can see some of our customers in different industry, like in BFSI, we have PWs, Aon Hewlett, Wells Fargo, Zurich, AXA. Similarly, in retail and consumer goods, we have Walmart as one of our old customers. In industrial and high tech, we have Bosch, Uber. Under federal and public sector, we have NASA as one of our customers, and so UiPath product had to undergo security testing on NASA high risk applications and passed NIST 853 revision 4 standards from product security perspective. So you can understand the security we have worked on in order to make the product very secure from organization perspective. So if we talk about any particular vertical in specific, like BFS, so almost 80% of the processes have high potential for automation. If you talk about lending, we have origination, we have loan processing, we have funding, default management. Similarly, when it comes to cards management, we have processing and approvals, collections and services. Under payments, you can have task payments, and you can have DD check clearing. With the help of a document understanding capability, you can automate the same. Similarly, we have a lot of processes under risk and compliance department, like KYC, We have automated end-to-end KYC with doing the background verification, as well as using some AI capability to understand the meaningful information, from the documents to do the KYC. Right? We have screening and alert management, which can be automated. Similarly, when it comes to commercial and wholesale banking, again, you can see the feasibility is quite large. You can have around 80 to 90% of the processes which can be automated. Again, under trade finance, under treasury, liquidity, collections, we have origination, collections, processing, fees and charges. All those reminder mails can be automated, which we keep sending to the customers in terms of collections and payments. Let's talk about some of the success stories, and let's start with one of the world's largest implementation that has been done on UiPath, and it is being done by SMBC. So SMBC is one of the Japan's leading financial institutions. So they launched an important initiative, aimed at increasing the productivity and efficiency of their operations. So looking at the newest technologies that could, deliver on these goals, they selected RPA as a critical transformation lever way back in 2017. So they are the early adopters of RPA in the market. And now they are expected to save around 3 million hours of capacity by end of 2020, which is around equivalent to, a workload of about 1,500 people. And they are currently projecting, the cost reductions of $450 million by 2020 and nearly $1 billion in the medium term. So that is the kind of cost reduction and, effort savings the SMBC has realized over years. So drawing confidence from, UiPath's highly flexible and scalable platform, SMBC deployed a complete attended and unattended solution. So they had attended digital workforce, which supports the group's front office centric activities, enabling the staff to develop the automation themselves and to work alongside the robot by exerting direct command over it. And then complementary, we had unattended digital workforce, which is targeted for all the high volume processes that do not require any kind of human touch, working 24 hours per day and 365 days per year, to sustain high throughput and high intensity processing. So if you talk about the key areas of implementation at SMBC, the first was compliance and risk operations they implemented in order to automate the suspicious transactions, internal loss verifications or measurements. Similarly, they automated information gathering process, which is used to enhance sales and planning capabilities like customer transaction or industry data. They automated the support branch operations in terms of customer performance reports or mortgage loan brochures. So, and they also automated routine operation center processes, which is mostly high volume processes related to deposits, currency exchange, loans, etc. So another success story is about AXA, which is again a renowned, insurance organization. So they are also one of the early adopters, and they have automated their daily operations, and they have saved around 18,000 hours with 5 times speed of robot doing the vital task as compared to human employees. So if you talk about other industry, then we have Nielsen, again, one of the biggest information and data firm. So they have considered a global adoption for RPA in around 40 countries, covering 20 organizational units, a total of around 177, different RPA projects so far. They have come up with automating all the back office processes they have. So let's see, how Sri Lanka has performed over years in RPA. So we have a success story of Mass Holding, in Sri Lanka, which is talking about how they have adopted UiPath in enabling digital transformation for their organization.
MACE is a Sri Lankan company with global presence. We are a $2 billion company with about close to 100,000 people working for the organization. We are the second largest employer of Sri Lanka. We are into apparel manufacture, working with reputed brands in the world.
As a company, we are one that actually spends quite a bit in terms of investing in our IT infrastructure. So we have a landscape that we know we want to work towards in terms of transforming the organization into the true kind of digital organization. And for that, we've identified that RPA has a fairly significant role to play. So while we are taking the lead in piloting various things and kind of getting them off the ground, we have a fairly distinct intention of taking it organization-wide. So RPA has its place, and we've identified that. And working with UiPath, we've realized that they are capable of dealing with the multiple requirements that we have, of integrating with our other platforms as well. So we are fairly committed to the journey.
Reducing lead time and improving efficiency of our work base is one of the key factors that we are looking for. We were looking for the tools which can help us on this journey, and we found that RPA is the best way to go. Then we went ahead with the POC, and that was a game changer for us.
The PO creation process has been a very critical process where it demands the high accuracy and the on-time delivery. We were able to, deploy a UiPath automation where it delivered around 2,500 man days of saving while achieving the on-time delivery and the highest accuracy that we wanted.
So as a result, the business users who've been with us early on the journey are getting a lot of traction in terms of their desire to actually automate things, because we work on an ERP that does require a lot of manual intervention as well. So we've been able to successfully deploy some bots to help people with that and actually take out chunks of work from their work day.
Overall, we are looking at around 13,000 to 14,000 of man day savings across the business, apart from the pinpoint accuracy and on-time deliveries and the peace of mind that we have delivered to the business.
And digital transformation and process automation has become a key strategic initiatives of the business. An RPA process, the process transformation is the first step in automating the routine functions of the business organization today. And this will evolve into the other technologies in the future.
We are fairly committed to our digital transformation journey, and after shopping around for quite a while for the right tools and the partners to this, we've actually found the right partner in UiPath and fairly committed to our journey in RPA with UiPath.
Yeah, so you can see how Sri Lanka is, adopting RPA, and they are getting benefits out of it in terms of digital transformation. So let's talk a bit about IT operations. So IT operations are again, a major area in each organization, I would say, and it has a huge potential for automation. So when we talk about normal day-to-day tasks, the IT support team works on like account creation and deactivation, which is like a big redundant manual exercise. We can automate, the resolution of service tickets, incident management, email classification through artificial intelligence, VM creations and provisionings, which is quite a lot these days when each and every organization is moving from on-premise to cloud solutions. Then we have Azure AD user group and folder creations. Then we can also automate all the ITSM reports, backup and audit reports, when it comes to reporting with respect to IT operations. And to support the ITSM applications, we also have the Nectar available for applications like SFDC, Jira, Dynamics, and ServiceNow for easy and quick automations. So these are the areas, almost which covers around 70 to 75% of the IT operations, which we see a great feasibility for automation. So the outbreak of COVID-19 this time has actually left all the vertical markets deal with increased absenteeism, security concerns due to work from home, and a host of other declining key performance and KPIs, right? I mean, so there are organizations, we have a huge influx of volume in terms of customer requests. So a lot of contact center operations are getting impacted because of this. So UiPath provides, an easy to build and quick to deploy RPA solutions, and which has been used by many industries, almost every industry, I would say, to respond to these drastic shifts in demand during COVID-19. So the areas like, city lockdown, e-pass generation for essential service personnel in India public sector was automated within 5 days. Within 5 days, we automated the city lockdown e-pass generation system, which is actually having a huge volume coming on day-to-day basis. Similarly, there has been never more demand for software robots to assist hospitals with huge volumes of medical test processing in this outbreak. Telehealth registration and self-diagnosis for the coronavirus under healthcare system has been automated. Then contact tracing while maintaining citizen privacy has been automated. So this has been done by one of the big fours in the world, They have automated this particular process with the help of UiPath. And then we have automation of 800,000 inbound loan applications for CARES Act under financial services. Similarly, processing large volumes of voucher refund requests, cancellations, and refund booking in transportation industry, which I think Dalini also explained while she was highlighting about airline industry. So there are many more such challenges, which has handled during this COVID situations through quick automations. So as business, face the realities of working in an economic downturn in the future, organizations will adapt their business models with automation so that they're ready to face any such outbreak or calamity which is coming in future, right? Enabling them to scale up the robots when required rather than scaling down human employees, right? So the best thing about RPA is that you can scale from 1 to dozen to 1,000 in minutes. So that's how flexibility is provided in terms of such peak time like we have COVID as of now. So talking about the latest trends and technology in the market. So Gartner evaluated hyperautomation as one of the top technology trends for 2020. Hyperautomation is the expansion of automation from RPA to a combination of technologies like AI, ML, natural language processing, natural language understanding, process mining, decision management, analytics, and many more like cloud, etc., which that will actually enable any organization to do end-to-end automation, right? So RPA has emerged at the center of gravity for automation because of its simplicity and fast time to value. And we have all these combination of technologies to support end-to-end complex automation with the help of RPA. So talking about RPA, right? So it's not just a technology, it's rather a journey, I would say, which is eventually followed by each organization. And UiPath is ready with the new and more evolved hyper automation platform by now, which takes care of all the different phases of automation lifecycle in the journey, right from discovery till you do the measurement of the automation in the organization. So when we talk about discovery, with the help of our products, you can automate with process mining powered by AI. You can manage your automation pipelines and prioritize your automation with the help of our Automation Hub component platform. When it talks about building automations, then we provide the flexibility to use different type of automation building tools like for different kind of personas. Like we have Studio for professional RPA developers. We have Studio X, which is a very simplified version of Studio for citizen developers, business users, and normal employees who can create simple task automations. Then when it comes to management of automation, you can securely deploy and manage automations from anywhere at scale with the help of our orchestrator, which can actually manage, monitor, and schedule the entire robotic workforce of your organization, right? Then it comes to deployment and management of artificial intelligence in practical ways for your business. You can do that with the help of our AI Fabric offering, which we provide under management option. Then you can run different kind of robots to work with your applications and your people to carry out automation. So we have attended, unattended, and a test robot to support different kind of automation scenarios in the organization. And then comes the engagement, wherein people and robots, they work together to automate complete processes through Action Center and human in the loop concept, which we have as the part of UiPath offering. Then we also provide embedded analytical platform, which gives you deep insights into business metrics as well as the robot metrics. So hence, we all recommend every organization to become a hyper automated business in this era of digital transformation through enabling, automation enterprise wide by empowering everyone to automate, which can actually lead to automation of around 35 to 40% of the task of your organization. And you can achieve the goal of reducing costs, increasing productivity among the employees, and improving the quality in the organization. So as I mentioned about our UiPath platform, so definitely as a beginner, you can start small. You can probably start with one department like F&A department to start with, where you have a lot of processes feasible for automation. Then as you gain maturity and understanding towards RPA, you actually can move to multiple departments in the organization. So you can scale your automation and you can go enterprise wide. Then you can, once you grow your organization, once you grow your automation across multiple departments, you can have a robot for every person, which can actually contribute to digital transformation of your organization, right? And then when the organization gets maturity to a maximum extent, you can extend it further with a gigabot economy, where each and every organization is using RPA, and all the automation is happening, all the organizations are interacting with each other through automations. So this is a gigabot economy which I'm talking about, which probably we shall see in the next coming years.
Hi Ankit, we done or?
Yeah, we have just a couple of more slides. So just to talk about the offerings which we have. So we do not just provide a product, but we rather provide a strong ecosystem which actually helps you in adopting RPA and get you running towards automation. So we provide the RPA Academy, which can actually help you in training your people for RPA. And then we have some really nice global business partners like John Keels, who are ready to help you implementing the RPA in your organization. We have our UiPath Public Marketplace, which actually provides a huge set of RPA and AI components which can be reused in your organization. And then we provide a stable community which will help you in collaborating with developers and partners in the organization. Similarly, we want to cover the maximum technology stack of any organization, and that is the reason we have partnered with multiple technology partners, in order to have end-to-end complex automations. And then we provide a UiPath forum, which actually provides a platform to you to get the resolution of your issues. Right. So this is just a gist of the technology partners we deal with in order to enable end-to-end complex automations in any organization. So you can see we have document understanding, conversational understanding, specialized ML, test automation, infrastructure and architecture, security, BPM, industries specific tools, etc. Right. So I would just wrap this presentation with a small video capturing how you can have automation, during COVID and beyond.
And then one day, the world changed. It said, "You want to see it's scary? I'll show you scary." And like that, it took away the thing we love most, the thing we need most, being together. Businesses closed. Hospitals were overwhelmed. The world seemed to stop. It asked for heroes, nurses and doctors and paramedics. But as they fought on one front, another appeared, as insidious as the virus itself. Testing and paperwork and supply chain issues, creating barriers between the healthcare worker and the patient. Help us, they said, help us do our job. Because nowhere in a medical oath does it say anything about paperwork. So they sent in reinforcements, and they called it robotic process automation, to clear a 160-day registration backlog in a single day, to provide more accurate test results in 1/3 the time, to reduce the screening time of healthcare workers to 4 hours from 5 days, to cut the processing time of an application from 45 minutes to 5 minutes, to accelerate the distribution of loans to help keep businesses alive. This isn't just about the coronavirus. It's about helping to solve the greatest challenges in medicine, business, life. Faster, more efficiently. Think about what's possible if we eliminate drudgery, time-wasted repetitive tasks. This is where hope meets technology, so that we can all go back to doing the greatest thing, the most valuable thing, the thing that says we're not afraid anymore, bringing the world back together.
Thanks, Ankit. I think that was a really kind of a very touching video to end your presentation, and I think I really believe that is truly the power of what automation really brings us. With that, we also have another representative from UiPath India joining us. Anushman, thank you so much for joining, and it's been a pleasure having you. I just wanted to have a question, and now that the two presentations are over, and to everyone who is watching this live, there is a chat available, so please push any questions over to that. I'll be happy to take them up, and if there are any questions for the panelists, I'll happy to take them. And also kind of leave any contact details or anything that you want us to contact you, etc. So Anushman, the first question I want to just ask you is that, first of all, I'm hoping that you have been, seeing and visiting Sri Lanka for a while. But what do you think is the potential for Sri Lanka? I mean, we saw this amazing case study for MAS, apparels. What is the potential for Sri Lankan business? Because truth be told, we are not 1.2 billion, like we are not a massive country. We are like a 21 million small population country with, maybe few companies who are really, really big. But is there really truly potential for automation in this market?
So hi Rohan, and thanks for having us here. Hello everybody, hope all of you are staying safe. So one interesting thing, Rohan, you brought up is my travel to Sri Lanka. So Dilini knows, actually I was pretty much the first guy from UiPath who traveled to Sri Lanka, and we started off the journey. So that was back in 2018. So my connection goes back almost 2 years now. Sri Lanka, so when we were starting, I think the question you said is pretty much the question which hit all of us. It's crossed all our minds that should we not, should we stay focused on India? But we took a call. We said no, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, although they're two very different countries, very different demographics, but we said we will go and we will look at these markets as well. And I'll tell you the reason, and when I'm more convinced now about our decision back in 2018. See, Sri Lanka, if you see, is, as you rightly said, is low population, very export oriented, and something where you're doing a lot of work for other countries. And because of the low population, you also end up having a little bit stretch on the skills. But at the same time, I think because you're serving the world, there's absolutely no space for compromising on quality, no space for compromising on accuracy and things. So that whole thing made a good use case, I should say, or it made a good combination which needed or which demanded the need for bots. And the proof today is that we almost have 12-13 large customers in Sri Lanka already deployed, already having bots. We have some of the biggest labels. So you heard MAS from Ankit, so that was a good case study. I think that's a poster child within Sri Lanka. One of the largest contract manufacturer. We have Dialog. In fact, Dilini knows that's where we started the initial engagement and journey. So Dialog is there, Sri Lanka Telecom is there, LOLC is there, Hirder Ramani is there. So quite a few large names, and now talking to multiple banking customers also. So yes, it doesn't have population like India, doesn't have business sizes India, doesn't have transaction volumes like India, but clearly I think there is a need, because the challenges are common, Rohan. So the challenges of not liking mundane work, the challenges of accuracy, they remain common, and that's the reason we are very excited about Sri Lanka as a market for automation.
Excellent. So what I have right now is, thanks Anushman, and we'll come back to you because we have another good 20-30 minutes where I want to just make sure that I cover quite a lot of area. We also have Harsha from John Keel's IT joining us, and he essentially leads our technology part of it. What Harsha wanted to do was to, just similar to what Ankit did, he has a actually live case of work that has been done, and he wanted to just show that, and maybe we'll lead that into a question. We also have Jehan in the panel, who basically is the CEO of Informate. We are very proud to have him, because while there's always so many other customers, I think Informate is one of our very first customers. I think Dilini will and Jehan will explain their journey a little bit. So what I want to do now is maybe invite Harsha. Harsha, you said you have a few examples you want to show. Shall I just kind of have your slides maybe? Then you have the slides right now, and you can just take it from there. Harsha, over to you.
That's right. Okay, thank you, Ron. Hope everyone can see my slides. So this is a very quick automation of bank account creation. So I will show you end to end how this is working. And so we'll start with document scanning. That is from physical document, the system using a camera, it will scan. Then the document will send for the data verification to make sure the data is extracted properly. And then based on the applicant, the crib report will be downloaded. And after that, once everything is ready, the account will be created in the system. So I will quickly show the video how this end-to-end process will work. And the data has been, since there are certain sensitive data, the images are not very clear, but you can get a good idea on how this whole process works.
Awesome.
So this is where we capture using a mobile device. So we capture the application form and the supportive documents such as identity card and utility bills and things like that. So this is the ABBYY Flexi Capture, where it will capture the images and send it for the data extraction. So basically the marketing officers, they just need to go to the clients and capture those documents and upload into their central server. So the system will automatically get this data extracted, and it will be presented in a verification center. You will see it in the next this video. So basically on the right hand side you see the actual document, and the left hand side you will see the extracted data. So, and it is going line by line and verify whether all the data is accurate. And once all the data is corrected, so these data will be saved in a database where all the accurate data is stored. So that after that, with the data, it will go to the crib site and download the respective applicants or candidates crib report, so that it will check whether there are any issues with the crib reports. So it will be downloaded as an attachment and save it in a specific folder. So after that, once everything is cleared, so it will go to the account creation. So here
Harshal, we have deployed the solution, right?
Yes. This is currently on live right now. So about 600 applications are being processed daily basis. So it's a huge volume to date. About 6-7 bots are running throughout the day to support these volumes. So this is where it will log into the core banking system and create these client accounts based on the information provided through those applications or physical documents. So you can see the data is getting fed in very fast, not like a human just typing. So because all the data is digitized right now, so it is very quickly getting entered. That's it. So thanks, Rohan. So we can move into the next.
Thanks, Harsha. Thank you for the quick examples. I think seeing is believing. People want to know that how it really works out, because I would love to have Jehan now throw a question at Jehan. Jehan, thanks a lot for joining. I know you're a busy man and taking the time today for joining us, and you've been an amazing help and a friend. Jehan, you are a CEO of a very important company, but for the benefit of everyone, maybe give a quick introduction about what is your core business is, and your journey on RPA and how you have brought it up to this point. Maybe a quick summary of that, maybe, and then take it from there. Jehan, I think you're mute. Maybe you may want to unmute yourself.
Thank you, Rohan. So Informate operates the shared services center for the John Keells Group, and we also provide BPO services to companies in Sri Lanka and overseas. So we were very proud to have the first operating bot, just as Dirini mentioned, within the John Keells Group, and we take huge pride in that. So our reasoning for that was, one was the cost pressure that was coming which is common among BPOs to continually look at increased efficiencies. The second aspect was the need to innovate. If you do not innovate in this space, you will be left behind. So 5 years ago, I remember sharing at a staff meeting an article from a respected source saying the robots are coming, are you ready? And there's a lot of research done by ACC and other bodies about the impact that it's going to have on the finance and accounting profession. So we wanted to be one step ahead, and we realized if we don't do this, we will be left behind. So we started with the first bot, and then we had great success with it. We had an ROI within about 10 months or 11 months. It replaced an FTE. That was a small project, but it gave us confidence to go forward. And then we rolled out multiple other projects. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Jehan. And we will get back to you. There's a lot more questions. I know you were very generous in the way that you describe it, but it's been a lot of interesting kind of a journey. So let me come back to Dilini. Dilini, I think one of the things that Jehan mentioned specifically was about that entire starting the journey and etc. Today, ROI is one of the biggest calculations on it. So how do people really say like I want to automate and is there really a benefit for me? How do I go about doing it? What are the biggest challenges you come across when you meet customers? Why are they really not adopting this? Because this seems like a great solution for customers to have, isn't it?
Yes, Rohan. To answer that question, I mean, anybody, just as we were saying, seeing is believing. So most of the time, the clients will look at a solution only when they see it. So the first thing that they will do is that they will tell us they would want to automate and see the benefit of it, right? So they will start with one process, then see whether, they can see an ROI, they will see whether there is cost benefits, like that. So they will go with that, and then only then they will also get involved and triggered to do more. So that is how journeys have started, like few steps in the right direction, and then it has, become big projects and likewise. So that's how engagements have happened right across.
Thank you, Dilini. I think, Dilini, you may want to check your connection because it seems to be that your video is not streaming properly. So I'll just quickly run into a question with Harsha, and then I'll come back to Anushman. There's 3 more questions coming your way as well. Okay. Harsha, what are the realistic timelines in terms of technology? Say that, okay, we went into this multiple conversations, we realized the processes, and then, you come in and we say, okay, let's do this. And what are those a realistic timelines of deployment? How long is it the preparation work? What is the actual deployment? What is the after deployment? What are the things people need to be careful about when they go on an RPA journey, automation journey with RPA?
Yeah, Rohan. So basically, the timelines are purely depending on what is the process that we are basically trying to automate. But in general, what is happening is if you take a client, the very first project is taking a little bit of time because a lot of people need to get adjusted. So and people need to understand this is how it is working, even for the business as well as from the technical parties and also the implementation parties. All 3 parties needs to get together and go ahead with this journey. So very first project, maybe it might take a little more time, but after that, once the things are streamlined, it will definitely get into the fast track and quickly you can get development. So basically, if I take a very simple process, maybe within 2 to 3 weeks, we should be able to do a quick implementation and show how this RPA works. So, but that will again depending on the process and the complexity of the process that which we are going to automate.
Harsha, what about the certification and what are those other requirements that people are concerned about when we get into these deployments and all that? How is JKIT preparing for in that way?
Yeah, basically, so from the client perspective, from the client side, we don't expect any kind of a detailed technical expertise because always as a solution provider, we go with our required expertise in all the aspects. So maybe from the infrastructure side, maybe from the business analyst side, maybe from the implementation side, project management, and all that. But from the customer side also, if we have people who are familiar with the RPA and also certified people, we definitely, it will be much more helpful for us to know work with. So basically what we have is we have all certified people. I think we have UiPath have a very great academy where people can easily do the self studies, go through the certification cycle, and get a hands-on experience with the certification. So that's really helpful.
All right, awesome. So I think, Anushman, let me just come to you. I think there's an important question. You're the principal, you are the representative of the principal side right now we have in the panel. Anushman, one of the things I wanted to ask you is that when you have to, and when you do engage with customers in Sri Lanka, what is the kind of engagement you carry forward? Because I'm sure there will be customers who will reach out to us. There will be customers who will be reaching out to you. What kind of value additions, what kind of innovations, what kind of processes that you are helping customers within to take this journey? Because I would assume still people are scared about, I have to sacrifice my employment, skill set, because does automation really going to take away? These are serious concerns. Sometimes they set back on good people back on automation journey. How do you tackle some of these challenges today? Anushman, I think you're also mute. If you don't mind starting again.
Yeah, sorry. So I think different, I would say, perspectives to your question. So let me take it one by one. So I think the first thing, when I started back in 2018, yes, this was a question that does automation take away jobs? I think this is slowly and steadily getting in front of people. People are understanding that is a notion which is really not right. So for example, I can take an example of MAS. So their strategy was to double their revenue in 3 years, right? So clearly they were not looking at reducing people, but the idea was that with the help of automation, I really quickly reach there where I want to reach in 3 years. In a non-traditional world, they may, in a traditional world, they may have an X amount of a projection for number of people. With bots, that comes down. But clearly, it's not looking at removing people, or it's looking at, and even if there is a change, then the whole idea is to repurpose folks. So I think that's getting a little better. That conversation, as we are moving ahead in the journey and in the market, I'm seeing that, this is my personal observation, that is going down. Okay, now coming to the other question, how do we help? How do we engage in Sri Lanka? So again, I will look at it two perspective of this. One is the pure play, what we provide as a technology. I think so. Our engagement, if you see with the customer, starts all the way, as Harsha rightly said, from the academy side. So while the customer is not even my customer, while the customer has not even come to me asking for anything, he always has an association with UiPath in the form of academy. So today, when we look at it and in our own database, it shows that Sri Lanka, we have more than 3,000 people who are enrolled on UiPath Academy. So that means without we doing anything, we already have that much of skills available in the Sri Lankan market. So that's where we start engaging. The second part is the technology platform. So on the platform is where we have, the way we have built it, it actually takes the customer right from ideation stage. So, automation is not a very prescriptive selling, or it's not like a CRM that you want to do something, you buy a CRM and there you are, right? Automation is always about what more you can do, how innovative you can, what idea you have, what transformation you want to do. So, our automation hub as a platform, we start from there. So you have ideas, you want to discuss between teams, you want to see what all automation you want to do, what you can do. So from that level, all the way going up to the analytics part, wherein you want to really see what's the ROI you're getting, what's the benefit you're getting of the process, and in between the bots, the developer, the mining part. You heard a lot about document reading. So even there we are moving and giving more options to customer by coming out with our own document understanding. which is I'll say an alternative to Abby. So that's where we are building our platform. Now, how we? Yeah, Rohan, saying something?
No, I wanted to ask you a bit more question, but let me just come back to you because I want to just touch with Jehan on this. Jehan, now you have more or less taken this journey, but the journey that Anushman has spoken about. I think there's always a gap between us talking to customers about this amazing journey and you as a customer going through that being the process. What are the things you think that organization need to be a little bit conscious about, a little bit careful about taking this journey, and what are the things that you feel now looking back that you could have avoided in this journey?
Absolutely. So I think the first thing is to start small. As Delaney suggested, build confidence. Okay. Take a small project. It may not have the biggest win for your organization, but it will give you confidence and it will teach you some pitfalls that you can avoid with some of the later bigger projects. Then the next thing is to upgrade the knowledge of your IT team, right? As Anushman mentioned, I think UiPath has some great tools where you can upskill so that your people are better positioned to interact with the RPA folk in JKIT and in UiPath. They have a better understanding. The third aspect is to bring about overall organizational digital quotient or RPA quotient. So we conducted brainstorming sessions, awareness sessions among our entire workforce so that ideas started coming from them about what is possible with RPA. The other aspect that I think I learned is that business and not just IT needs to engage with the business analysts of JKIT, for instance. It's not an IT project, it's a business project. So we need to be very careful in the beginning in making sure that all the requirements are properly understood and documented. So sometimes we as business folk don't spend enough time in that, and then we can then probably struggle a little later down the project. Right. So that time that you invest upfront is really worth it. Overall, my biggest regret is that I've not done enough of it.
I'm sure that we are very happy to hear that, and Anushman and Delaney and myself are laughing inside so much about here. Thank you. But I'll come back to Jehan about 5th question. But coming back, Harsha, so we heard the preparation work and the cycle that UiPath follows. We have a gentleman in Jehan who went through this entire cycle and did that. You are probably on this side who are deploying it and working with the partner. What is the preparation that you want from a customer side, that as an organization who deployed this technology to our customers, what are the things that you wanted to make sure that you get it right with customers?
I think Rohan, primary focus should be the awareness. So I think basically what we see is most of the time, very first time when we see. So sometimes within the business users and also from the IT, so the awareness is not there. So that's what we initially start with. So we also go and educate. This is how it is working. Do a POC and show how this whole thing is running and all that. So then only the idea, as Jehan said, the ideas comes from the business, because what we are trying to automate is business processes. So actually what business users are basically doing. Right. So from their end, that's what exactly we need. Major rest of the things we already have, so we can easily contribute.
Right. So Anushman, I'm going to come to you because that's an interesting thing. I mean, would you just like to add on to the fact that, because we all usually have these business decision makers and technical decision makers. So Harsha was saying more or less it is a business decision maker. So maybe you would want to add on to that, and I would like to give you the space to complete. I think there was a little bit of part of your answer that was left from the previous one as well. Maybe just complete that as well.
Yeah, so I'll let me answer this first. So from a customer standpoint, we have seen that wherever IT and business work together, those projects move faster and are more successful. I think the solution or the mantra is very simple. Customers bring the business knowledge. They know their processes, because everybody implements the same process differently, right? If you see even a finance basic process of invoice processing, different companies will manage it differently. Different people will have different approval way. So the customer brings the knowledge of their process, and then we can, and when I say we, it's like John Keel's UiPath, we take over, and the technology part, the delivering of that project clearly is handled by us. So the two teams, IT and business, have to work together to make this successful.
But isn't that make it harder? Because usually I have seen is that these two parties don't usually talk the same language, and it becomes a lot harder, isn't it?
It is, but what we are seeing is unless they work together, it is always a little bit of a challenge, and there is no shortcut to it, or there is no solution to this problem, to be honest. So wherever.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So that's what I have seen. All the successful projects have a good engagement from both sides. Anyone can take lead. It's not that IT should always lead or business should always lead. That's not an issue. But they talking to each other, staying in sync, and understanding the requirement of each other, I think that's the key to the success of the project. And to answer the other part of the question, which I was saying, is how do we engage in Sri Lanka? So we already have Priyam. Priyam is our account manager who looks after the market. We have a dedicated distributor, and we have partners like John Keel's, who are like big name in the market. Our engagement is there at the pre-sale stage, sales stage. We also help customers in running some proof of concept. Typically, proof of concepts are run by partners, but we do help if that is needed. During the journey, for large customers, we also have a concept of customer success. So that customer success person engages with the customer in ensuring that the journey is smooth, adoption is good, process identification is right. So we do quite a bit of check during the journey as to how the whole journey is going. Are you getting the benefit, not getting the benefit, introducing a new platform, new processes, new products, etc. So the entire journey is where we are there with the customer, and obviously partners like you are always there with the customer in front.
Anushman, let me put you on the spot, and last question, because I want to ask a question from Dilini now. There are we are hearing more and more of different players coming to the market.
Yeah.
I mean, what is the position of UiPath in this? I know you all are early, you all are ahead. How do you see your landscape evolve?
Okay, so more players clearly means it augurs very well for the market and the industry. I look at it very positively. So the fact that Microsoft just acquired Softomotive, that clearly shows that how serious Microsoft is. And Microsoft is serious because the market is serious. We're talking about a few $1 billion into this market going forward. Right. So that's the good part. With UiPath, I think what is nice, or what is good, and what customers should look at is we have been ahead in the game on everything, and what we have seen is most of the large players also have been copying us. So if you look at a very basic things like an academy, which is democratizing, teaching everybody about RPA. We were the first, then others copied. So now there is somebody else also, I don't want to take the name, but others also have started an academy. Assisted automation, we pretty much led the market. Process mining, we're the first to integrate it in our platform. So I think somewhere that thought leadership, the product leadership, what we have, I think that will definitely keep us ahead in the game, and we are very confident. It has taken a lot of time for Daniel to build this company, to build this platform. It's almost a work of 10 years. I don't think so anybody can catch us quickly. But yes, we appreciate that there is competition in the market. We respect them. But I think that will only push us to do better. It will only push us to come out with better projects and faster projects. And one last thing on this, is customers who see the product in action. And this is one example I have seen in Sri Lanka itself. Customers who are very serious about evaluation, they bring top 2 or top 3 players, give them the same process, make you do the POC, they see the product in action. And I think 9 out of 10 times we always win that game, because they see the simplicity, they see the speed, and I think that's work for us.
I will accuse you of being biased, but thank you for that. I really appreciate it. So Dilini, I'm going to come to you now, and I'm going to have probably a question like, so you've been kind of heard a lot of inputs from a customer standpoint from Jehan, technology from Harsha, UiPath as the principal about welcoming the competition. So what do you think? You are meeting customers on day in, day out, talking about automation, what about RPA. What are the 3-4 things that you have found to be really, really important, and what customers need to be aware of, and what John Keells IT is offering?
Yes, thank you, Rahman. And just to give clarity on that whole question, I mean, day to day when we meet clients, it is again of the first question that comes to their mind is, how do you identify what can be automated? Those are the first questions they ask us generally. And then it is a question, can you all help us to identify the processes that can be automated where we can get a benefit? So what we do is, like, yes, as John Keells IT, we step into the account and we give awareness sessions where we want them to grow with us in the account so that they understand better what we are doing. So we give the awareness sessions on what is robotic process automation and how they can benefit with it. And likewise, so after we get the stakeholders into a session like that, they understand the journey better. And then we say, okay, now we will help them to identify what are the processes that can be automated and which they can benefit out. So when they discuss the processes, we are with them and giving them the understanding, okay, this is how we look at a process. Based on this, you can calculate a ROI. So this is how we calculate them. What are the volumes, and like so on and so forth. So majority of the companies, we want to see an ROI fast before they embark in the journey. So first few processes is always about ROI. So after that, they will take the journey and then they will start automating, implementing, and going live. So that is, once you achieve that, we have seen there is no way of going back to that for them, because they have seen the benefit and they embrace automation. So for just to give in a nutshell to tell what a company needs to do is that the stakeholders of the company needs to get fully involved in this whole RPA journey. The management needs to get involved in it, and the drive has to come from the management along with the stakeholders and the leadership, and the people who are running those processes needs to understand that. And rightly, as Anshuman said, there is automation doesn't make people lose their jobs. It is we repurpose them for to be better utilized. So that understanding needs to be given, otherwise they see it as a threat. So once that is done, then we roll out processes and get into a bigger engagement. So it is always the awareness and the ability to identify them and to roll out, and then look at a journey with automation together.
Thanks, Dilini. I appreciate it. I think along the way there were a few errors with the video, and I think we kind of switched, but I think everybody caught the gist of the messaging there. So really, really appreciate it, and it was really, really good. So thanks, Dilini. And I think we'll move to, we've already been spent more than 1 hour easily, and I would just like to go for the closing remarks. Jehan, you've been a great supporter and you've been a great cheerleader for RPA, and especially in this journey. And I echo your words, and you wish that you went more aggressive and more hard on this. Give your closing remarks, and then we'll wrap up the session. I'll come around to the other panelists as well.
Absolutely. I really believe in this. That's why I'm a part of this panel. I consented because I've seen it working, and it's still incredible to describe that experience of seeing a bot in operation. It works 24 hours, doesn't take leave, doesn't stop working. When you go home in the night, you can see it working, sending out emails. It's still an amazing sight so many months or years later. And I also see that just as Microsoft predicted that there will be a PC on every desk, I think it was someone from UiPath who was saying that we'll have a bot on every desk. So this is going to happen. So we have got to get with it, or we risk being left out. There is a lot of research saying that any predictable work is going to be automated. So it's better that we initiate it and so that we are in control of it. And I really recommend having a chat with JKIT and starting off with that first project. My advice, don't worry too much about the ROI in the first project, because it's a question of what will happen if you don't do it. Right? Take a small project, build confidence, and take it from there.
Amazing, Jan. Thanks a lot. And I know you're a really busy man, and taking the time off to join us. Really, truly appreciative. And thank you so much. And stay safe. Harsha, what about you? What about your closing remarks? For this? Yeah,
I just want to say, like, this is not rocket science. So very simple, simple platform. Even business users, there are tools where business users even can use and do certain automations. So when we have the word called robotic, we shouldn't worry about it, because this is very simple implementation. You don't need to change any existing systems because of this implementation. You just use existing the user interfaces, or if there are any APIs, the bots can still use it, but there's no existing system changes we need if you want to do an automation. So it is very simple and nothing to worry. So just identify the right process, simple process, and go with automation and experience it, so that you will feel, okay, there are more opportunities, more processes to be automated down the line.
Harsha, so there is a question from someone in the audience. Unfortunately, they have not identified themselves. I'm going to just throw this question at everyone. Anyone who want to take, just let me know and take the question. It's a technical question. So it says Citrix client being installed per machine is a limitation in UiPath. Are there workaround or updates done by UiPath to fix this particular component? Or are we ready, or can we get back to this person later?
We will. So just need to check exactly what's the specific requirement. Maybe in 20.4, if it is addressed, I need to come back on that. Sure. So there is a recent release last week. So if that is addressed, we need to come back. Sure. So happy to take it offline.
Amazing. I wanted to take that question because I think it's important that everybody knows that we are not here to just talk everything. Like, we want to be sincere and honest and say this is a great technology, and here are the actual things that we want to be considering about. Anushman, your closing remarks before we wrap up.
I think the point I would want to add here is that yes, Jehan, I agree with you. Start small and get the confidence. But at the same time, I think there is a good amount of stuff that has happened in the market. There is a lot of things which we think post-COVID will change, and that will again push for more automation. So probably the time for experimentation, yes, it is there, but I think people can now talk to their peers, look at the market, and actually start a little substantial in size. World has seen automation, right? Excels do get automated, SAP does get automated, so you really don't need to worry that it will or it will not. But I think I agree completely with you that the first initial projects may not be on ROI, but the real business result that you are trying to look at it. Reach out to John Keells, reach out to us directly, not a problem. We are there to help you. And I think quite a few citizen things, even in the Sri Lankan market. So for example, we're talking to just today only to a customer. Now the world is changing. People are not looking at having 100% attendance. So they're looking at 30% different days. So they want to manage that attendance. That's a very new use case. No ERP, no HR system can actually do it. So they're now looking at bots which can look at their attendance, which can look at their health, all those things. So I think it's a reality, need to jump into it. And there's a lot more use cases which will come up in the new post-COVID world, and as the world changes on the citizen stuff. So yeah, I think people should go for it. That's what I would recommend. I can't hear you, Rohan.
Rohan, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Thank you so much. I was just saying I love the fact that we have two panelists who are giving slightly different opinions. I wish we had more time. We would have gone into even more interesting conversation. So, because I think that's what it is. I think our responsibility is to give a perspective to people and let them do their own research and decide what is the best way forward. And we are here to help along the way. Dilini, I'm coming to you, and I would like to hear your closing remarks. As I said, I think I have a slight challenge with your putting your live stream. I think now we got your screen live going. So I think you may just have your closing remarks, and then we can wrap up the session for today.
Thank you, Rohan. This is one of my proud moments to be in this webinar along with my first client and along with UiPath, my first contact. So it's one of the proud moments. Like, we actually didn't plan this, but it so happened that way. It just crossed my mind. So my closing remarks are like, I want to give the confidence because we have been the pioneers in the RPA journey in Sri Lanka. We are not only in Sri Lanka, we are in the UAE, we are in different markets, right? So, and the capabilities that we have built up throughout the years, those who have worked with John Keells at IT will vouch for it. Our clients are happy with us, and we have taken a journey very seriously. So we have helped a lot of clients, and we have deployed solutions successfully, and the success stories speak for themselves. So I would like to encourage any automation related, if you want to contact us, if you want to understand what this journey is all about, we are happy to help. So we are always there for you. Thank you so much for joining the webinar.
All right, thanks a lot.
And
for everyone who joined and spent a good, absolutely. For everyone who joined, I think you have spent close to about, if I'm not mistaken, about a little over 1 hour, 20 minutes. There were amazing two presentations that had, and I think this video will be made available on YouTube at John Keells IT YouTube channel as well. So I really think you guys can have a tremendous amount of value out of this conversation. Keep in touch if there's anything. Sorry if I haven't gotten through to all the messages and questions that have been asked. Thank you, panelists, for giving us your valuable time. And I'll see you until next time. Keep automation as a top business priority for business performance. Keep in touch with John Keells IT. Reach out to us. Thank you, Dilini. Thank you, Jehan. Thank you, Anushman. Thank you, Harsha. Thank you, Kit, for doing the presentation. Take care and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.